Hey gang, welcome to episode 15 of the Witch Awakening podcast. I am your host, Melissa Rippey, a spiritual and awakening coach for witchy women who want to heal old wounds, tap into their desires, and manifest their most magical life. So today I want to talk about healing your inner child. This has proven to be probably the most important part of my healing journey. Let me explain. So in regards specifically to my money story. So I, as we know, am a spiritual person. I am into all things metaphysical. My journey started with Reiki and then moved into working with fairies and then angels, taking some shaman classes, learning all about shamanic arts, and didn't really embody that, but definitely took away some tools that I still use, and just, adding to my toolbox over the years. And with all of the things I have learned, and all of the spiritual abilities that I use and have honed over the years, and with all the metaphysical friends that I have that practice in different ways, I have done a lot of inner work, to put it mildly. Over the years, I have done consistent work on healing past traumas, even past life traumas, healing somatic things. That means like in my body, traumas that I had stored in my body with shamanic healings and past life regressions and guided meditations and just all of the things, right? And each of those things played a huge part in getting me to where I was a few months ago, which, let's face it, with everything that's been going on in the last handful of years, I think we all faced a little bit of a life crisis, metaphysical awakening, spiritual awakening, come to Jesus, whatever you want to call it. We all experienced a little bit of we experienced a huge trauma globally, right? And then now with the wars going on, there's more trauma. And it's just been really hard to stay on a level playing field, on a level, just feel steady under our feet, right? Like to feel like the earth is supporting us. Because it has felt like we were all kind of riding this wave or this roller coaster, like riding in a boat, going in a storm, right? Like going up and down, and about to be swallowed up at any moment or go down the hill at any moment. And it has been really hard. And I know I disappeared for a little bit during the midst of the big lockdown pandemic stuff. I went inward, which a lot of people did, and did a lot of work on my healing myself. And I didn't really have space to hold for other people during that time. So I kind of just pulled back and reduced the amount of people that I was working with in my business, so I could give myself the time to really explore and find out what it was that I needed to deal with, right? And in that time, I found some new people. As is always true, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And so my teachers appeared. And now I find myself on this certification journey for NLP and hypnosis and EFT and success in life coaching and trauma-informed coaching, which I am so in love with and cannot wait to share it with as many people as possible. I will talk about that at the end of the podcast, about how I am serving people with that newfound love of mine. But in the process, it's very much a you go first process. So we learn about it and then we use it on ourselves, right? And then in the certification, we practice on each other. So there's very much we go through it before we lead other people through it, which is awesome because, then we can experience what it's like to be on the other side. So it gives us a little bit more of that sensitivity and, understanding of what our clients are going through on their end. And so during this, all of that to say, long story, very long, inner child work became huge for me and something that I love working with my clients with. What I found with the root of a lot of my problems was inner child stuff. My inner little girl did not feel safe. She had not felt safe growing up, and that had left her scared and feeling alone and not seen and ignored and all the things that she was feeling. And so working with her and really supporting her, and this is an ongoing daily thing, right? So I still have to work with her and support her and let her know, hey, you're safe. I got you, girl. And I will always keep you safe. I see you. I hear you. You're important to me. All of those things. If I can keep her in a place where she feels that, it keeps me in a much different place as grown up me. I have seen huge shifts in my money story specifically. I did not feel safe, and I had a story that I could not have money and love at the same time. I had to pick one. I could either marry someone rich and be happy because of the money. That's what I was told, right? I don't believe that, and I never did, which led me to why I split that into half. I could either have the money or have love, because in my head, money did not equal love. And so when I was told that, my inner self decided that I had to make a choice. I could either have money or love. Well, I found love, which meant in my head, okay, well, you chose love, so you can't have money, right? So I had to work on healing that I can have both, and it's safe to have both. And I won't disappoint anyone or lose anyone's love or anything like that if I decide differently than they did and choose both. So I have to work on keeping my inner child happy, keeping her seen, keeping her feeling safe and happy and warm and protected and all the things. And if I do that, she settles down and takes a little nap. Doesn't act up, doesn't cause me to run programs that kind of self-sabotage, and keeps me on a level playing ground. So healing your inner child is healing a lot of things that play out in our daily life as grown-ups, right? As adults. The other thing I've realized is that our inner child steers our boat a lot more than we think she does. We give her permission to steer us around as grown-ups, even though we have no idea that's what's really happening. But when our inner child's needs are not being met, they act up, they throw little tantrums, they tell us, no, that's not safe, go over here, or don't do that, that's not safe, right? And cause us to make choices that maybe are not in our best interest or do not steer us down the path that would lead us toward abundance and joy because it doesn't feel safe. So if any of this is speaking to you and you feel like you have inner child stuff that you need to work on, hint, hint, everybody, don't be afraid to embrace that. Don't be afraid to really go in and find out what's going on in there, where it came from, why we feel those ways, and, reach out to that inner child and see what needs have not been met in a long time that need to be met now. It is, I promise you, so worth it on so many different levels. Sorry about that. You will feel better. You will make better choices. Uh, your life will change in ways like you cannot even imagine. You will feel more fulfilled. You will feel more regulated with your nervous system. It will be much easier to calm yourself when you're having anxiety or when you're in the middle of stress, or even I have found when other people around me are feeling anxiety or stress or depression or complaining about whatever, it is much easier for me to not absorb that stuff and not let their state turn into my state. In other words, I can regulate my nervous system by just giving that inner child a little hug and saying, you know what, their experience is not your experience. You're okay. You know, they might not be okay right now, but you're okay. And I'm able to hold space for people and not take on, you know, whatever it is that they're going through, which makes interpersonal relationships much easier from my end, you know, and I'm able to hold space for them and hold a vibration of whatever it is that they're needing at the time in a space, a clear space, you know, a grounded space, a very steady space. I still have ups and downs. Let's not get it twisted. Like, I'm still human and things still, you know, we still have emotions and hormones and, you know, we're still people experiencing a people world. So we still have things to deal with, but it is much easier to stay more steady and not let things affect me quite as deeply or as much or as easily. And it is much easier to recover when, you know, I get in a space where I'm stressed or anxious. It is much easier for me to use my tools and get myself back in a regulated space. So that's what I have for you today, you guys. Inner child work, super important. Let me know, you know, go over to Instagram and tag me in your stories, you know, share, you know, that you were listening to this episode and share what your takeaway was. My handle is Melissa_Rippey. I'll have the link in the show notes. I love to hear what people's favorite parts are. You can always shoot me an email. My email is on my website. So you can always shoot me an email there too. Okay, so things I have going on. I mentioned this already, but here is all the information. If you're ready to dive into healing and moving through your inner stuff, supporting that inner child, I am ready to help you. I have a new one-on-one coaching and healing option to work with me. And I believe that healing takes time. It's not a one and done, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am situation. I have never had a massive shift from a one-off experience. I've had some good messages, I've had some good experiences, but I've never had that like life-shattering, life-altering, changing experience in a container that did not last at least 3 months. So that's why I have put the 3-month package together. We do weekly calls with me, and that's live on a Zoom call. You get fully personalized plan to get you to the healing that you're seeking. We go over goals, we go over what it is that you're hoping to accomplish, and then we go from there and use all the tools in my toolbox like NLP, hypnosis, tapping, Reiki, life and success coaching, my intuition, mediumship abilities, and like all the things. We use all of those to get you where you want and need to be to start living your most magical life. So if this is feeling like a fuck yes for you, or you have some questions that you want to ask about it, please reach out to me on Instagram or in my email. The link for that is in the show notes. And let's see if it's a good fit for you. And if our energies jam, we can definitely start your journey whenever you're ready. And yeah, let's get those inner children healed and supported and feeling good and warm and cozy in their little beds, and get your nervous system more regulated so that you can approach life just differently, you guys. It is just such, I just can't even. It's amazing. I want that for everybody. So please jump in. Do not hesitate. I have a bunch of inclusive payment plans, so do not feel like money has to be an issue. I have a bunch of ways to make that happen so that we can make it, within reach for everybody. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Be sure to subscribe so you can get notified when new podcasts are uploaded, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. That lets them know that you love it, and it gives us a little boost so that others can find us. Share with your friends if you feel like they need to hear anything that we have covered so far in this podcast, and help them live their most magical life. Stay magical, friends, and I will talk to you soon.